What's up guys, CEO here with episode 2 of Super Korosu World. In the last episode we got to the checkpoint. I hopefully edited it down so it's only about like a half-hour episode. I'm trying to keep all of the episodes about that length, mainly because I want to include some of the process of learning these levels, but not like overwhelm you guys with information. Again, all of this is blind, so I'm kind of just trying to figure this out as you guys are. It looks like that does fire both ways, so I guess I'm glad that I checked that out. So I think what I have to do, gonna pause because the timing of this is actually important. I think what I have to do here is let this bullet bill fire as it syncs up with this brown platform, and then I'm gonna have to spin jump off the spiny, and you don't really get a lot of height when you spin jump off of bullet bills at all, but you do kind of like stop your fall a little bit. So looking ahead slightly, it looks like I am potentially gonna have to... No, because I need the height more for that. Okay, so it looks like it's just a jump where I have to dodge a spiny. The timing for that is weird. Okay. So I probably messed this up by having the camera at a weird spot anyway. So the timing for this is really awkward. I wonder if it just lines up if you just go. I'm just gonna scroll left. Okay. Alright, well, now I see why the spiny's there, because it's a troll if you just go right away. Looks like a pretty tricky jump, though. I wonder if I'm just supposed to screen scroll right. Oops. I screen scrolled right, but I slipped off the edge first. Okay, so it does look like I actually can live on this gray platform. I'm a bit confused here because it doesn't look like I have enough height to jump up to that bullet bill from down there, unless this platform needs to be like all the way up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to jump up to that bullet bill from there, because that was just like a test to see how high I could get, and it looks like I basically got as high as the spiny. I'm a little confused on this part, honestly, because it doesn't look like I have the height to do this, but I think I'm just supposed to bounce off the bullet bill to get up there. Oh, I totally have the height for that, I just keep looping around weird. Okay. Never mind, I'm dumb. Well, then why didn't you shoot that time, you dick? I finally got comfortable with this. Ow, that's disappointing. But at least I learned there's a chuck coming, which is good. Okay, so I can fall, and this... I swear that should have timed up better than it did. I wonder if I can activate that Kaizo but still live on that spiny and then jump off. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but that seems a little bit easier to me than this. Except when the spiny doesn't actually come alive. I feel like I can do that. I'll keep trying for the bullet bill if I get a good cycle for it, I guess, but I'm not really getting a great cycle for this. So... wait here, jump back down. Oh, so it's just that one block anyway. Seeing the height that I get off of the spin jump here, I actually kind of think that it's just supposed to be a spin jump thing, and this bullet bill is more just meant to be an enemy, I guess. Because I'm pretty sure you can make that and then just bounce off the chuck right there. I just kind of wish I could do it already. Come back. Haha, I did it, but then I slipped off, but proving that it is possible is good enough for me, so I guess I'll just cut to when I do it right now. So I think if I stand back here, wait for that bullet to fire, and then I am able to spin around and then come back onto the Kaizo block. I'm trying to figure out how to give myself enough time for this. I've been playing around with screen scroll and stuff right here. That might have been a little bit too extreme of an example, but you can kind of see what I was trying to go for there with trying to keep the spiny not spawned until a certain point. I also kind of just tried to do it without screen scrolling and just waiting right there, but it seems like it doesn't work as well because I need to be in a certain position on the gray platform. Could be wrong, but that's what it feels like right now, at least. So I could either keep him spawned over to the right and then bounce off the Kaizo block, or just have him in a certain spot on the left and then just try to bounce over here, which is easier. Okay. And then easy enough jump. How? I need that bullet. Nope. Okay, gonna try this again. Oops. So I'm guessing that's a bounce off the chuck, but I didn't really get it the first 2 tries, and I didn't want to kill him because if you kill an enemy in Super Mario World, it doesn't come back even when you go back to the spawn point or whatever. Shoutouts to Super Dram World for teaching me that, by the way. So I tried to jump back over to its spawn point, so I could basically jump back down here and then respawn it again, but I died on the way back, obviously. Alright, so it looks like I want Spiny to be on Muncher 1, because that's the easiest way for me to actually make it up to it, and then get the clearance that I need to actually get over to the platform. I still haven't really confirmed if I need a bullet at this height, or if I need to just use the charge and chuck here. I think the bullet's far gone by this point anyway, so I don't know if I could even do that. It would be nice if it worked out, but we'll see. Yeah, that bullet's nowhere. That bullet's nowhere nearby, and that chuck is consistent enough that I'm pretty sure that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, so I'm like halfway between 3 and 4 now, and that felt perfect. It's kind of an awkward visual cue, but oh, that was way easier than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, cool. Okay, so good news. It's another low bounce followed by a quick bounce up. I think it's high enough, at least at its highest point, once the spiny reaches all the way to the right, that you can just hold spin jump all the way off of it. And normally in Mario hacks, and as well as in regular Super Mario World, I think, they normally put those little checkpoint arrows or whatever right next to or before the final obstacle of the level. Depending on how nice this level creator is, that could actually just be the end of the level, but I'll be willing to say that there's probably another obstacle after that. So on the bright side, this part actually feels pretty consistent, because I was able to do that on back-to-back attempts after not knowing what to do. Okay, so it's not a full jump, which is nice. And then it looks like it's a jump over a gap after that. Okay, alright, so my visual cue for this part is actually kind of fun, so I want to share it. I land on this platform right here as this guy spawns in, wait for myself to slide a little bit, spin around this, and then I get to go over here. By the way, I could not use that bullet even if I wanted to, because it's off. And then I basically just have to spin jump in between Muncher 3 and 4. It's pretty clear, especially when the Munchers are closed, like exactly where I'm talking about. I just want to go into the gap right there in between both of them. And then I basically bounce off of the right side of the chuck to make sure that I actually bounce right. With charging chucks, you can kind of fly off of them in one of 4 directions, I believe, and you want the one that's like the shallow one to the right. So it's a pretty specific spot on their hitbox, but luckily the chuck seems to run and stop pretty consistently. which is kind of cool because I haven't actually really seen that in a Kaizo hack, really. So it seems to run and stop pretty consistently, like right in the middle of that chuck platform right there. So it makes the jump feel pretty consistent, and at least when you mess up, it feels like it's your fault and not the game's fault, which is always kind of nice. But yeah, you just jump down to in between 3 and 4, slide back, and then slide up right there, and it feels like you pretty much get it every time. And then, like I said, that guy stops, and you just bounce right there. This one is not a full bounce. Damn. Okay. It's a little tricky, though. I might actually try to figure out when I need to start doing bounces for that one. As we figured out in the first part, spiny bouncing is not exactly a strength of mine, but I feel like I have improved on it quite a lot since the beginning of this level. Okay, so this part's hard because I really need to figure out when I get that, so I didn't actually really get to explain this too well during the first part because I think I edited it out mostly, but when you spin jump off of spinies, sometimes when you're trying to do like a big spin jump off of them to like try to go somewhere, you end up doing like a little shallow hop first and then the big bounce. I don't know if it's when you like have to re-press run or something like that, because I feel like I'm holding down run the entire time. But there's basically a time where Luigi will bounce off of the spinies once with a little bounce before doing like that big bounce that you actually need to go somewhere. And I feel like that's kind of messing me up a little bit right here. See, you kind of saw it there where my bounce speed slowed down for one of the bounces towards the end, and I had to try to do like a couple other bounces to compensate for it. That time I got the height I needed, but I was scared of moving to the right for some reason. Oddly enough, the bullet actually kind of helps you there because it forces... Oh, okay, that was new. The bullet actually kind of helps you sometimes on this spin jump part because it forces you back over a little bit more when you kind of have to sometimes. So like here, if I would have went all the way to the right, I would have hit that Kaizo block. Okay, you want to not... Yo, what the hell? Okay. You gonna come back? Or what's the dealio here? Okay, I can screen scroll you back, right? Okay. Damn it. I was hoping to save that. That would have been nice. So I don't know why that is happening sometimes now. Is it because I'm jumping over to the right to lure him in instead of just jumping straight up? Because I need him to basically wait in the pit long enough for me to actually hit him when he's in the middle, but I've had a couple of deaths now where he's just like immediately booked it back over to the left to try to jump at me. Come on, Chuck, I gotta learn you. Yeah, it must be because he like doesn't see me in his range right there. Okay, that time was because of that weird spin jump gap thing that I'm having trouble learning, apparently. I must just not be jumping off of it at the right time. Alright, so I think I learned a little bit more about this muncher, or charge and chuck activity over this muncher pit. Basically, I just have to be in the air as that chuck is falling down into the pit of munchers in order to actually get him confused long enough. Still have no idea how to do this consistently because I feel like every time I'm like either trying to guess if I'm gonna bounce off of the spiny or not. I don't exactly know what I'm doing differently that would make me bounce off of him on the second bounce sometimes, but not the first. Like, the only thing I can think is that I'm not pressing the button as early as I think I am. I don't get spiny bouncing at all. I must need to use the sound better than I am or something, because my visual clearly is not working here. Okay. Sorry, I just had to really focus there. Is this the end? Okay, this looks like the end. I'm gonna assume there's a Kaizo block on the closer part. Whew, okay. Okay, slow motion chuck, and we're done. Okay. So that was really fun. I'm glad I did not fuck up the end after all that. Still really bad at spiny bouncing, if I'm honest, but I think I'm starting to figure it out a little bit more. I was actually going to walk through... I was going to walk through the end of the level and set up, or tell you guys about my visual cues and stuff, because I basically just ended up using the grass to kind of help me out a little bit again, like I did at the checkpoint, or at the halfway point, or whatever. Basically, I used the ridges in the foreground to kind of help me set up where to stand, when to go, stuff like that. I was also kind of using the music a little bit because I actually had my headphones plugged in this time. Last jump was really fun. I'm glad that I cleared it on my first try and didn't get too excited and just run right into the chuck. You always got to be careful in Kaizo hacks because they like to throw one last little fuck you in at the end. Normally you hit it on your first try, so I'm pretty happy that I actually dodged it. But thank you guys for watching this one. If you like this, drop a like and subscribe, and we will see you next time for Barbarians Arcade. Have a good one.